Was it worth it? Very important question. As sentient beings, we go through a lot in this world. We go through a lot. Unfulfilled desires, failure, pain, sicknesses, disappointments, sleepless nights, anxiety, depression. Bro, we go through a lot. We don't know what this place is. We don't know what we're doing here. We don't know what we're supposed to be doing. We don't know what the meaning of life is. We don't know what happens when we die. We don't know where we come from. We just here having this experience. And a lot is required from us, bro. You'd swear we signed a contract somewhere before we came here. Like, a lot is required from us, bro. For a life that nobody asked for, a lot is being required from us. I can't wait for the day and I'll be asked if it was worth it. If you ask me today if it was worth it, my answer will be it was not worth it. But figuring out that it was not worth it was totally worth it. When I say it was totally worth it, I'm reminded of one of my favorite episodes from South Park, Casa Bonita. So Kyle, Catman's friend, his mom wanted to take him to Casa Bonita for his birthday, and she told him that he can invite 3 friends. So Catman thought he was automatically invited because Kyle's friend is Catman, Stan, and Kenny. So he was like, I'm invited. But Catman is a horrible person. He's horrible to all his friends. Remember on this episode called Catman Land, he inherited $1 million from his grandmother. And he decided to buy an amusement park and no one was allowed in, especially his friends. He will talk on TV, he will be interviewed and will say no one is allowed at all, especially Stan and Carl. It's like he hated his friends. It was weird. Maybe his only friend that he liked was Kenny. But yeah, so Carl was like, I ain't inviting Catman. But Catman started being nice to Carl, hoping that he will invite him. But he ended up inviting Butters. But he told Catman that, because he thought Catman was changing. He was like, if for any reason Butter doesn't go, you can take his place. And he pretended as if, that didn't really matter to him. But he was like he got it now. So he had to manipulate Butters, make sure that Butters doesn't go. So he made sure that Butters goes missing. So I ended up going to Casa Bonita with his friends. But when they got there, Carl's mom got a call and they asked if Catman was with them, and they told her that Catman was responsible for Butters missing and the cops were on their way. So Catman decided to go run inside and he did things that kids do at Casa Bonita. And after the cops caught him, they asked him a question that his response made me laugh. They were like, kid, you made the whole entire town panic. You lost all your friends and you're going to juvenile hall for a week. Was it worth it? And he was like, totally. My response will be figuring out that the whole thing was meaningless, the whole thing was not worth it, the whole thing was pointless, was worth it. Totally worth it. I don't regret the work that I needed to do to understand what is going on. I might not have understood enough, I mean, no one is telling me what is going on. I had to do all the work myself. I had to not sleep sometimes thinking about life, be sitting like this. What is this? What is going on? Why is this happening? Why did that happen? Who created all of this? Asking myself the deepest questions. I would say that's worth it. Because if you find yourself in any realm and you don't have any memories of your past life and you don't know where you are or what you're supposed to be doing, you need to figure out where you are and what you're supposed to be doing. What if you're in a trap? What if you are in prison? What if there are some beings that have put you there for entertainment and you're suffering, or they're harvesting your energy? You don't know. So you need to figure out what is really going on. So I would say doing the kind of work that I did to figure out what is going on, that was worth it. But life itself was not worth it. I feel like I've been through a lot. A lot of things that I can't explain, I look back in my life and be like, why did I go through that? And what was the point? What did I learn? Can I really say that life was a beautiful story? Ever watched a movie and you felt like you wasted your time? You're like, dude, I regret watching that movie. Like, it's pointless. There's nothing that I learned. No creativity. The plot was garbage. I've watched a lot of movies this year that I regretted watching. Some of the movies that I watched them because of the trailer. But after watching the movie, I was like, nah, I'm disappointed. Like, this is, like, I thought this was gonna be a great movie, but it's garbage. Like, the story is not doing it for me. It's not interesting enough for me. Like, interesting things are not happening. We can talk about success, like, yeah, maybe if you were successful, if you had money, if you lived in a nice house, if you had a nice car, if people loved you, blah, 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 maybe you'd feel differently. I don't know, man. I think at some point people become bored. This place wasn't created for us to be happy. It was created for us to, I don't know, to be taken advantage of by something else, So the things that were given to make us happy, were given these things just to distract us. The point of this is not happiness, We're not having this experience so that we'll be super happy, like, wow, happy all the time. And when you're not happy, like, something is really wrong. Because here's the thing, man. Life is so sad that when you're happy, you feel guilty. Like, bro, like, if something happens and that makes me happy, yeah, I feel guilty. I actually feel guilty. I'm like, I wonder what's gonna happen next. I'm not supposed to be this happy. This feeling is unfamiliar. You hear what I'm saying? Like, the interesting things that are happening. It gets to a point where it's just boring. That is why we're waiting for 3-Eye Atlas, bro. Hoping it's aliens. I'm checking every day. Is it aliens? Oh, they still don't know what it is. Is it aliens? They still don't know what it is. I want something interesting. Even if they're bringing, I don't know, even if they, they ain't going to be on our side, even if they're going to be hostile, because this is so boring. I want something exciting. It's boring. It feels like we're just being tortured, bro. The food we've eaten, like, even the food, like, when I was growing up, I wanted to have money so I can eat the kind of food that I want. When I was young, I really loved food, but now I don't even care about food, bro. I'm like, all the food tastes the same. Sometimes I just wish I could be full without eating. You know what I'm saying? But like, if it was possible to be full without eating, I wouldn't eat. Like, I don't love food anymore. I've eaten enough food. It got to a point where I'm like, Like there isn't even a food, like any kind of food I'm craving. You know, like people are tired of experiencing the same thing every day, bro. The suffering is too much for the pleasure that we're getting. Like the payout is not huge enough for what we're expected to do in this realm. Like, what are we really getting? I have a job, wake up in the morning and go to work. Are they giving me enough for me to, you know, be free enough to be able to travel when I want to travel? Or every time when I buy something, even if I buy an apple, I'm supposed to think, hey, well, do I still have enough money that's gonna last me for a month? Like, is that worth it? Is that beautiful? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's messed up. Like, we're not living life, bro. We're not enjoying. And it wasn't like this world wasn't meant, not that it wasn't meant for people to enjoy. I wouldn't really put it that way, but I would say whatever is controlling this world doesn't want us to enjoy. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, there must be some few people who can enjoy, but in the end, it feels empty. You know, you cannot end up having it all and still feel empty in the end. I'm telling you. Like, I can imagine myself having it all. I remember there's this song by Justin Bieber called Lonely. It says, what if you had it all with nobody to call, then you'd know me. I know that people nowadays they get a lot of attention when they say they're lonely, you know, and they sing about being lonely and people want to be there for them and all of that. But really, man, you can tell that most of these celebrities ain't doing well. You know, like they're not okay. Like they thought that by getting everything that everyone wants, they will be okay. But it gets to a point where they're like, it's still empty. Some people think that I have it all, but it's still empty. Even behind this castle wall. People just want enough to be able to, you know, buy the things that they need. Once you have enough to buy the things that you need, really, these crazy things that these crazy rich people have won't really do much to make your life better. Like, it won't really do much for you. If you have a place to stay, you have a car, you can afford fuel, you can maintain your car, you got food that you want, you know, you can afford clothes, you can travel, you know, sometimes, you know, if you save enough money. Even if you become super rich, you won't really feel better. It's like you've reached the pinnacle of happiness. Like, it's all downhill. It's all downhill from there. Like, once you hit the pinnacle of happiness, it's all downhill. Like, not a lot is gonna make you happy. That is why some celebrities do things that are sick, and you're like, dang, man, why? Like, they're tired of the normal stuff. The things that you want, the things you dream you can have, they have these things. They're bored, bro. Ever wanted a toy? Like, you remember when you were a kid, you wanted a toy so bad that you would cry, and your parents finally buy you the toy. You have the toy for like 2 weeks, and you're bored. Now you're bored. They've bought you the toy that you wanted, but now you're bored. This is not interesting enough. It's boring, man. It's boring, you know. You wake up and you don't know what's like, if there's something interesting that you can do, and people are very predictable. Like, you can literally predict what's gonna happen. It's not like every day is new. Like, the rules or the laws or the universe are changing every day, so you don't know if tomorrow you'll be able to fly, or you'll be able to teleport, you know what I'm saying? Like, every day is the same. You don't have any superpowers. You're limited. It's a prison, bro. You're stressing about paying your bills. Like, how am I gonna pay my bills next month? What if I don't make enough money? My daughter, she needs this, she needs that. Next month it's gonna be Christmas. Kids want clothes. If you're a parent, you're under pressure. You gotta buy kids clothes, presents, because they're competing with other kids in the street. If they're wearing nonsense, other kids are gonna laugh at them, and it's your fault, as a parent, because you're supposed to be able to afford what they want. It's gonna be New Year in January. They'll have to go back to school. Schools are expensive for nothing, really, because they're not really learning much, and in the end, they still struggle to find jobs. How many unemployed people are living here in South Africa? You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of young people are unemployed. It's crazy how much energy, time, and money that we have wasted going to school, because we didn't really learn much, and the unemployment rate is very high, and no one really cares. The people who are at the top ain't helping. They'll just say that they're gonna help. So people do ask themselves at some point if it's really worth it. Like, what am I actually doing here, bro? Because I'm just suffering. If there's something that I can guarantee is happening to me, it's suffering. That's what a lot of people can guarantee. They want things to work out for them. They want to have a good time. And people really know what they want. That's the thing. Like, people know what they want and are willing to work for what they want, but sometimes they're not even in a position to work for what they want. Like, the situation is so bad that they can't even work for what they want. They're just suffering. Like, the story is so horrible that they're depressed. Like, no one should know what depression feels like. If you've never been depressed in your life, because I know that people have never been depressed, like, you won't understand that feeling. But there are a lot of people who have been depressed. They understand the feeling. They understand what it feels like. It's like if you've never been angry and you see an angry person destroying something, It's always funny. Like, if you see someone in the street who's angry and they're just, maybe they have something on their hands and they throw it away because of anger. You'll be looking at them and laughing at them, until you feel the exact way they were feeling, and you understand why they were crazy. So if you've never been angry before, you never understand anger. You just think, the person is crazy if they're angry. So it's the same with depression. If you've never been depressed, you'll never understand it. I remember there's this guy. He was an influencer, Tonga influencer, very famous among Tonga people. He ended things in 2023. Yesterday I came across a video of him talking. Like, someone posted a video that he made maybe in 2021, 2022. It was like, no matter how much life sucks, I will never take a rope and, he said that. So when I saw the video, I'm like, okay, what can I learn from this video? Because it's someone who ended up ending things. If you've never experienced something, you will think it's easy to deal with it. It's very easy to judge. Like, you could see someone doing something crazy and you judge them because you've never been in a situation, that pushed that person to do crazy things. But yeah, man, it gets boring. It really does get boring at some point, man. That's why people be drinking alcohol. You know, who would like people wouldn't get addicted to alcohol. Yeah, if this place was good, people will drink alcohol sometimes, but they wouldn't get addicted to alcohol. We'll be like, I'm too happy to drink, bro. Why do I gotta drink again? I'm good. I don't even feel negative emotions because most of the time people drink so that they don't feel negative emotions. They don't wanna feel shy. People feel shy because they know people judge them. So if we're in a good world, no one will be judging anyone. There will be love everywhere. So people will be okay. But like, why should I get myself drunk? But now people want to get drunk so that they forget about the problems. They want to forget about uh, the problems that come with existence. Someone just got dumped. They want to forget that. Although drinking doesn't really work because you might end up calling the person that dumped you. You know what I'm saying? You might end up getting emotional and now you want to call, hey, why did you do this to me? I loved you. You know what I'm saying? And then wake up the next day and regret it because you'll have said a lot of dumb things and now that person is more turned off by you, you know? People are dealing with different problems, bro. Every day. In fact, we think about our problems more than we think about the good things that are happening in our lives. Ever realize that? Like we think a lot about our problems than about the good things that are happening in our lives. The reason why is because we have more problems than and we like it's so hard to enjoy the good that you have because you're afraid that you're gonna lose it. You're like, yeah, this is temporary, you know. What is easy for me to cause is problems for myself. Like it's much harder to make my life good, but it's very easy to destroy my life. Like if I wanted to destroy my life right now, I'll destroy my life very easily. But if I wanted to make my life great, it will be very difficult. Like it will take a lot of work, you know, rejection and all of that. I find that some of the things that I need to do, the results are not really up to me. But if I want to destroy my life, I can just decide now that I'm destroying my life, and I can destroy my life in 5 minutes. I could destroy my life completely in 5 minutes. Right? I can destroy my life completely. I can end up in jail with nothing. All my friends and my family will be hating me, and no one will be visiting me. That's so easy. In 5 minutes, you can do that. But if you wanted everyone who knows you to love you, to be on your side, to help you, to have a good relationship, to have money, you know, to have the things that you can't do that in 5 minutes. Not even one of these things. That's how bad things are, bro. It's difficult being a human. Not just being a human. I think it's difficult to be an animal, bro. Like I wouldn't want to come back as a chicken. I wouldn't want to come back as a lion. I wouldn't want to come back as a rabbit. I wouldn't want to come back as a fly. I wouldn't want to come back as a pigeon. I wouldn't want to come back as what's the name of the fastest bird? I think it's called falcon something. I wouldn't want to come back as that. I don't care if it can fly faster than any anymore. I ain't coming back as anything, bro. Like this sucked. It doesn't feel right, you know. That's why I'm telling you that if someone asked me if it was worth it, I would say it wasn't. But figuring out that it wasn't worth it was worth it. I needed to figure out that it was not worth it than to feel like it was and pretend like it was. If this place was worth it, I don't think there will be a person who will be asking if it was worth it. Everyone would know it's worth it. No one is having fun. No one who's having fun is going to ask if having fun is worth it. I mean, unless there's consequences, right? Unless you're spending all the money that you have and you need to pay rent the next day, then yeah, you need to ask yourself if it's worth it. But really, if you're having fun, no problem, you're not asking yourself if it's worth it. You want to have fun. You want to enjoy. Ever wondered why it's very difficult to enjoy this? Like, it shouldn't be difficult, bro. And we like to gaslight people, like when people are not doing well, when people are not happy, we make it their fault. You're not happy because you're not appreciating what you have, you're not showing gratitude, all of that. You're like, nah, that's not the reason, bro. you know it's good to show gratitude, it's good to say thank you and all of that, but that's not the real reason why I'm not happy. And besides, I shouldn't even be told to show gratitude. If I'm really, really satisfied and happy, I will automatically show gratitude. That is gonna come naturally without having to force myself to show gratitude. You get what I'm saying? Like, it would just happen naturally. The same way that when I'm happy, I'm just happy. I'm not faking it. You know what I'm saying? I shouldn't fake excitement. I shouldn't fake gratitude. But experiencing real happiness is very difficult and very rare, bro. Like, you don't just become happy. You can't even make yourself happy. I wish that if I wanted to be happy, there was a part of my brain that I could trigger to feel happy. It will release the chemicals that will make me happy. Like, it doesn't work that way. Can you imagine if you're bored having a bad day, like, I just want to be happy, and then you trigger that part of your brain and you just feel happy without having to do anything. I know people feel like that is wrong, to just become happy without even achieving anything, but it's beautiful. Like, we shouldn't be controlled by happiness, Like, I shouldn't do something for happiness. The reward shouldn't be happiness, I should do something because it's meaningful. I must look back and say, that was meaningful, that was worth it. Because I'm not doing it for happiness. I'm happy, so now I'm doing what is meaningful. But if I don't have happiness, I'll do whatever it takes to be happy. Even if it means, I don't mean that me specifically, I'll do whatever it takes to be happy, but I mean a lot of humans in general, they do whatever it takes to be happy. Even if it means hurting others. If hurting others is going to make them happy, they're going to hurt others. That is what is happening. So, really, how can I say this was worth it? Nothing of my childhood, the things that I had to go through, the bullying. Kids are mean, bro. I have a brother, I had to stand up for myself. It was like me against everyone, bro. The teachers didn't really understand me. If I stand up for myself, now the teachers want to act like I'm the bad one. You know what I'm saying? The thing is, if you don't have anyone who's gonna vouch for you or who's gonna stand up for you, you will lose even when you don't deserve to. I had to learn pretty quickly that it doesn't matter who's right or wrong. What matters is who people like. You'll be surprised, but you think it's about right or wrong. No, it's about who people like. If they don't like you, whether you're right or wrong, it doesn't matter. People can cheer for a person who is abusing you if they don't like you, knowing what is happening to you is horrible. That's the thing with morality, bro. People want to act like this morality is a real thing. They don't realize that they're controlled by their primitive instincts, really. It's about who they like and who they don't like. Popularity plays a huge role when it comes to morality. If you're very popular, you can get away with almost anything. That is why people who are religious do not judge God. Like, God can get away with anything, bro. Like, God can do the most evil things. They will still say dude is holy. Why? Because he's popular. They like the dude. So, of course, if you're loved by a lot of people, certain rules won't apply to you. Like you're on another level. But if you're not liked by a lot of people, a lot of rules are gonna apply to you. There are things that you can't even say. It's like if you're a guy and you're not attractive, there are things you can't say to. You can't even say a woman is beautiful, bro. If you are not attractive as a guy, bro, that's offensive. A woman will be offended. I remember I told you about this guy. Dude was homeless. I mean, probably still homeless. So this lady used to give him money and food, clothes. So one day he was like, she called him. He was on the other side of the street. She called him. She wanted to give him some food, and she gave him the food. But he decided to shoot his shot. He was like, yeah, what if, what I'm saying, like, miracles happen. So dude decided to shoot his shot. Okay, she was super offended. Made a video on TikTok. The video trended, talking about the guy that she will never help a person, a man again. Like now she hates men because of that guy. I was like, what the heck? What did that guy do? He shot his shot. He's a man. He did nothing wrong. He just shot his shot. Like, are you giving him food because you want to feel good about yourself or what? Like, because now it doesn't even seem like you care about the dude. You know what I'm saying? Because if you care about the dude, you also understand his feelings. He's a man. He's looking at you. You are this woman that's talking to him regularly. He's kind of falling in love. Plus, you're helping him. You are being kind to him. If you're kind to someone, it's easy for them to fall in love. But you're deeply offended that you go online and talk about it as if he did something wrong. When I was listening to her talk about the guy, I thought the guy did something wrong. He grabbed her, you know what I'm saying, or something. But no, dude did nothing wrong. He just spoke to her and she rejected the dude and she left. And he, of course, he was expecting it. You know how things are in this room, It's crazy how we treat one another. But yeah, the real truth is, man, some rules do not apply to some people. They can be mean and get away with it. Some people can't even make a mistake. You make one mistake, everyone hates you. You don't believe me? I want you to think of this. I want you to think of these two people. I want you to think of Tupac and I want you to think of Will Smith. These two people. So Chris Rock made a joke about Will Smith's wife. Will Smith stood up and smacked him. I want to ask you a question. If it was Pac, someone made fun of Pac's girlfriend and Pac stood up and slapped the dude, would we have felt the way that we felt about Will? You gotta understand how petty we are. Gotta understand how shallow we are. You gotta understand which is animals, bro. Ego, pride. We're worse than we think we are. We're experiencing nonsense, feeding each other nonsense, treating one another like nonsense. It's not worth it. Creates a lot of unnecessary suffering. And suffering is something that we do not want to experience. I don't know any person who wants to experience suffering. What I know is that everyone is trying to run away from suffering, and they do what they can to get away from suffering because no one wants to suffer. The hell room doesn't have our best interest at heart. Was it worth it? No. Was figuring out that it was not worth it? Totally. That's the reason why I do the work that I do. When I'm sleeping, I'm always thinking about this room. Try to understand why certain things happen in my life. Why some things happen in this world. Why some things are happening right now. What is the meaning? I do believe that if what your heart really desires the truth, your intuition will point you to the truth. Like there isn't gonna be a lot of obstacles in your way when you're trying to figure out what the real truth is. Like you evolve to be able to see truth even when it's hidden. Even when you're being misdirected, you'll be able to see the truth. Someone will come and tell you something to make you focus on something else, and by telling you what they told you, you know the truth. You know, a person can lie to you, but by lying to you, they're actually telling the truth. Like if your intuition is strong, you will know. You will know the truth from their lies. Like they can tell you a secret that they're trying to hide, but by attempting to hide the secret, they've actually told you. You're like, oh shoot, I got it now. I think it's sad that most of the time when we do things in this world, we do not do these things because we really want to do these things or because we think it's worth it. We do these things because we have to. That's one of the biggest problems that I have with this place. We do things because we have to do these things. If we don't do these things, we're going to suffer. And because we don't want to suffer, we do these things. That is why we feel empty. How can you not end up feeling empty if you're not living your life, if you're not doing things that are meaningful to you, things that actually matter to you? You're not doing these things. You are doing things that matter to someone else. You are saving someone else, or you're being forced to save someone else. You're forced to save someone else's needs. One of the reasons why I would not want to go to heaven is because we're told that people who are in heaven are supposed to be worshiping God. Like, it'll get to a point where they'll be worshiping God like 24/7. You'll be like, what the hell? I'm not doing what I want to do. Like, how can that make me happy? How can worshiping someone make me happy? I ain't worshiping nobody here, bro. There are a lot of people that I think are awesome, but I don't worship them. So, why would I want to worship someone 24/7? Sing songs, worshiping someone. It's not beautiful. In fact, if God wants to be worshipped, He should give us great lives. We need to look at our lives and be like, damn, that was worth it, bro. Like, whoever created this, movies that I've watched that were so great, I would clap hands. Songs that I've listened to that were so great, I would clap hands after listening to these songs. Be like, damn, that was insane. Like, I can't believe how good the artist is. You know, watch battle raps and someone like spit some crazy, rhyme scheme, and I'll be like, that is insane. You know what I'm saying? UFC fighters, win fights that are very hard to win. Like, but if I'm being given garbage experiences, why the hell do I gotta be worshiping God for? For punishing me? Because that's what I'll be doing, If God is giving me hellish experiences, I'll be worshiping Him for punishing me, or worshiping Him because I'm afraid that He might make things worse. But like, what if He makes things worse? So because I don't want Him to make things worse, I worship Him. It sucks. We're not living our lives, bro. I can imagine hitting the age of 60, looking back and be like, I wasted my life. Like, I should have been more, I don't know, I should have been me, bro. Like, I should have chosen love over fear. I should have been more rebellious. You know what I'm saying? I should have been more courageous. So this song by Logic, Joyner Lucas featuring Logic and Twister. I forgot the name of the song, but Logic says something that I liked. Like, yo, man, like, I can imagine sitting back. Can you imagine sitting back, looking at your life while you're 80? Like, damn, I done wasted my life. Blah blah blah. Like, yeah, like, you can look at your life, like, the whole thing, I wasted it. But we're forced to waste our lives. That's the problem. It's like, if you don't waste your life and you choose to live a life that is worth living, you end up suffering, People are going to be using you as an example. Like, yeah, that one tried to chase his dream. Look at him, he's in the street. Remember when when I was growing up, I like rap a lot. My dad's friend will make fun of me, but like, there's only one Eminem. One day, when you're older, we'll pass you in the street selling tomatoes, calling you by your rap name, and whenever you hear that name, you go crazy. You text, you try throwing stones at us, like when we call you by your rap name, like you wanna hear nothing about rap, like period. It's like we're not encouraged to do what we want to do. We're not encouraged to follow our dreams, to follow our hearts, to do what is meaningful to us. If you decide that you're going to do things that mean something to you, then you get punished by default. You must do what is meaningful to the realm itself. Ain't that a joke? Ain't that a... Like, seriously, man. It's not a beautiful story. I want it to make sense. I want it to mean something. I want it to make me cry because it's so meaningful. Do you get what I'm saying? I don't want it to make me cry because I don't cry when I'm like, these days I don't even cry when I'm when I'm like hurt, or traumatized. I'm just being shocked and just don't know how to react. I cried a lot when I was young. Now I got no more tears left, bro. Like, the tears that are left are tears of joy. Like, give me something, because I haven't experienced joy. So the tears that I will have released when I experience real joy, because I didn't release them, there are a lot. So I need to experience those things so that I can release these tears. You get what I'm saying? But it's not like that for many of us. It's just hell after hell, and we used to it. Like, we're not even surprised anymore when we experience hell. Like, of course, no miracles. We know this. This is the story of my life. Like, you get used to your own story. Like, if something happens that's out of the ordinary, it shocks you. You're like, that's not the story of my life. What's going on? I don't know my life to be like this. So what is really going on? But when things that are usual keep on happening, you're like, yeah, this is what I'm used to. This is what I know. This is what I've always been sure was gonna happen. It's this story sucks, man. I wish there was something more to life, I wish there was something more to life than this. I wish this really did make sense. Being honest about life is not a bad thing. It's not a negative thing. I do find value in honesty. I see courage in honesty. Especially when you're being honest about things that the world is afraid to be honest about. Especially if you're honest about things that people get punished for being honest about in many different ways. I think that helps you grow and become stronger. And see things more realistically and not be afraid to see the truth. Because as humans, we are really afraid of the truth. The truth is wicked. Was it possible for life in this world to be meaningful? I think it's possible. It would have been possible if we chose love over fear as a collective. The problem is that we depend on one another as humans, you know. I depended on my parents when I was young. I depended on my teachers. You know, I depended on the people who were around me when I was growing up. You know, it's just how it is. We depend on the people who control things, you know. The politicians, ministers, like we, you know, it's not like I'm here alone. The things that other people do affect me. So if the majority of us are choosing fear over love, that means that our collective experience is going to suck. Unless you're lucky enough to not be under many people, to not depend on a lot of people, right? If you have enough money, you won't be depending on the government for a lot of things. Money talks everywhere in the world, so you will be able to get what you want easier and faster. But if you don't have money, you'll have to depend on systems that were created by people and that are broken, because human beings are broken. So this system are reflections of us, you know. If we're not broken, then the systems that we would have created would have been perfect. So we create broken systems because we ourselves are broken. So this makes this whole experience bad and extremely difficult to turn things around, extremely difficult to make things make sense. Extremely difficult to give life meaning, especially if you are very intelligent and very aware. If you are naive, you probably believe anything. A lot of people who find meaning in life are people who don't, who are not aware of a lot of things, you know. Like if you are this person who's easily manipulated, who believes everything that you're being told, it's very easy to find meaning, you know. If I created a tribe and say, I was told by God to create this new tribe, and everyone who's part of this tribe is chosen. People who will be part of that tribe will be people who don't ask deep questions, people who are not aware. Like they don't understand that people can lie and start cults, lying to people, you know. But people who are honest with themselves, they wouldn't find meaning in that. They'll be like, that's nonsense. How did these people believe that this guy was sent by God, you know, to start this tribe, and whatever he's saying is true? I think that's how a lot of religions were started, you know. Someone claiming to be sent by God, and you find that they have enough power, so people follow them. Because here's the thing, if you're powerful in this room, you can start a religion easily. Any person, Andrew Tate can start a religion. and people can follow him, and it can become a very big religion. It's very easy. As long as you have enough people who support you, then that's it. It's going to be easy. But people who are not ignorant are going to be like, no, man, that doesn't make any sense. People who are not ignorant are going to be like, no, that doesn't make any sense. So they won't be able to find meaning in what you are offering. They won't be able to find meaning in what you're selling. That is why it's hard for many of us to find meaning, you know. We can see that a lot of things just don't make sense. We don't want to live like slaves. We want to do what we want to do. We want to look back at our lives and say, yeah, that was worth it. That was fun. That was beautiful. That meant something. I'm pretty sure if I asked a lot of old people above the age of 80, asked them if it really was worth it, I think if they were not afraid to be honest, I think a lot of them wouldn't say it was worth it. I have a feeling that a lot of them wouldn't say that it was worth it. A lot of people think they live their lives differently, thinking that it would have been better, because if you're not truly satisfied with your life, you feel like if you've made different decisions, you would have been satisfied. But chances are it would have been the same or worse. Like, only if I chose a different career. It's not easy to make life meaningful. It's not easy to live a meaningful life. We're not really in control. The more we cling to this, wishing that it gives us beautiful experiences, the more we suffer. When we try hard, it's when we die hard. That's what Kanye said. Would you say your life was worth it? I'd like you to tell me in the comments. These are some of the questions that we need to be asking ourselves as sentient beings, so that we'll understand this room better. It does matter how we feel about this place. We shouldn't look at this place and be like, yeah, we're here, a higher power put us here, and we must do whatever to please whatever put us here. Like, no. We should take our own needs and wants seriously, our own desires seriously. Not just the desires of whatever we think put us here. Especially if this thing is not telling us anything. At least if there was some communication, we'd be like, okay, you know, I know what God or whatever has put me here desires, but there's no communication. You're blind, basically. Like, you're walking in the dark. You don't even know what is right to do. Sometimes you might tell yourself that I must be a kind person, and then you're a kind person, but the world doesn't treat you kindly. And you're like, what am I supposed to do? What am I here to learn here? Should I not be kind? You're not kind, but then you feel empty in the end. So you're not kind, no one is taking advantage of you, everyone fears you, everyone respects you, but in the end you feel empty, and you're like there's a price that you pay for everything. Like, everything has a price. It seems like the rain has stopped. I actually wanted to record outside today, but As soon as I went out, it started to rain, so I was like, yeah, it's fine, I'm just gonna record here again. Thank you all guys for watching this video until the end. Like the video, tell me what you think about the video, subscribe to the channel, share the video. Let us keep on growing and see what the end game is going to be. Thanks for supporting this channel. Your support really means a lot. Thank you all guys.